Hi everybody, Dacob here. Welcome back to the Fashion Bunker. I'm going to talk to you about Hedi Slimane and these allegations or this alleged kind of involvement in Chanel's male collection coming out, or I mean, we don't even know if it's coming out or not. We do know that Karl Lagerfeld, since many years already, within each collection he does, except maybe for the haute couture collections. For all the pret-a-porter collections, he kind of inserts a couple of male models and male clothes within the show. And those clothes are usually for sale. You could find them mostly in 31 Rue CAMBON. There was a time around 2008 or 9 when they kind of initiated more to do these things. And then a lot of boutiques worldwide were kind of, I don't want to say they were forced into buying some pieces from the male collection, but they would be definitely encouraged, I think, at least, to say the least, to purchase some of the pieces. And I do remember everywhere I would go, there would be a little tiny selection of, a sweater, shirt, pants, whatever for men. Now that's getting really hard to find. So I don't think that it worked out that well, that they pushed it that much. Perhaps they just didn't want to invest all that money into marketing. I don't know. Whatever the reasons are, if you really want the biggest selection of male clothes from the Chanel collections of every season, pret-a-porter range, you're most likely going to find it in 31 Rue CAMBON. In other boutiques as well, but that's your best bet. Of course, always call your boutique before you go there to ask if they have any sort of assortment or selection of male clothes. Most Chanel boutiques will have at least a pair or two of male shoes and sneakers in bigger sizes as well. So most of the boutiques I go into, you could find like a classic leather shoe for men, a tie, that they're going to sell you ties as well, and sneakers basically. But to find apparel has become really difficult. So I don't even know if Chanel is really wanting to expand in that field of male clothes to an extent, to literally go for it, like boutique-wise maybe almost, to split a boutique, women and men. But because the rumors were so strong, and because, we have seen and heard Karl Lagerfeld already back in the day when Hedi Slimane took over Dior Homme, and the whole skinny kind of nouveau heroin chic look was brought back to life all of a sudden, male-wise. Lagerfeld lost all that weight just to be able to fit into Hedi Slimane's Dior Homme clothes. So, and we see him wearing a lot of Hedi Slimane's pieces when he, does his walk down the runway after a Chanel show. So it's definitely something to consider, like him wanting to kind of slowly lead, Hedi Slimane into Chanel and kind of let him take over one day when Karl decides to leave or by nature leaves. So the rumors have been so consistent, persistent, and strong, and in loop and repetitive, that Chanel actually issued a statement. And Chanel very rarely issues statements, but they have issued a statement saying, no, we are not planning a male collection. We're not planning to start like just a male collection, and we have no, I don't know how they formulated it. They didn't use the word. We have no interest in working with Mr. Slimane, but they definitely said, like, we are not planning a collaboration. We're not planning on working with him. Now, to me, when a brand kind of steps up to say something like that, usually we know what's going down. We know that if they take that step to say, to deny something, that means something is really happening. The more they deny it, the more we think the opposite, actually. So he might be, taken over Chanel in some way or form. Or, while Karl is still designing the female collection, maybe Slimane is going to do, the men, and then they're going to work together, and then Karl is going to kind of, bring him in more and more into the entire picture of Chanel, until then Karl just kind of, steps out of the limelight and over the spotlight, and then we have Hedi take over. No clue if that would be the case, if that would happen. I personally don't see him at Chanel, Hedi Slimane. So I personally am not in favor. Everyone has their own opinion. I love Chanel to pieces, and I respect it so much, and I would really try, my opinions. I would love to design for them too, but it is true that they go for famous designers anyway. So if they were to go for some famous designer quite frankly, at the moment, I mean, how like the fashion world is ticking and the business fashion world is ticking, I ain't even sure what to tell you, who I would see at the head of, you know, at the directorship or the artistic and creative directorship head of Chanel. I don't even know. I'm confused myself. I had names in the past, but I don't know. It doesn't matter if it's a woman or a man. I just want somebody who really understands the DNA of Chanel, the heritage of Chanel. You know, somebody who really manages to kind of put their ego to one side and understand that this is about Coco Chanel. This is not about them. Of all the brands, I think Chanel is the only one where you really need to keep placing Coco Chanel in the forefront. She needs to be the first image. And then the head designer is behind her. He's the one supporting and sustaining her presence in the front view, you know, in the front row. And Lagerfeld does that masterfully. And I don't see many designers out there that you know, can let go of their egos so much in today's day and age. I think it's very, very, very difficult. Very, very difficult. And I have just finished shooting the Jeff Koons for Louis Vuitton video, so I'm still very upset because, yeah, well, you've seen that video. If you haven't, you could check it out. I'll link it in the description box down below. But, you know, I fear, and I know he's an artist, he's not a designer, but, you know, Jeff Koons, but still, whatever. I fear something like that. I fear like ego trips going on when somebody else takes over Chanel and goes all bananas and bonkers and like, haha, now I am the king of the world. No, you're not the king of the world. You're privileged to have received the scepter of the queen, which is Coco Chanel, and you have to take care of that scepter. And you can't, yes, you have the scepter in your hand, but you're not sitting on that throne. Don't you ever forget that. She's always on that throne. For those of you who have seen Bates Motel, it's like Norma Bates, frozen and dead, but she's sitting there on that throne. In the basement, frozen, but just, you know, this magnificent surrounding of worship, basically. Coco Chanel, not as macabre as you might envision it right now, but Coco Chanel is sitting on that throne still. You might say as a ghost, fine, as a ghost, so be it. But if it wasn't for her, there would be no Chanel. Unlike other brands where we have kind of lost the visuals of how the designers that once founded those brands really look like, more or less, you know what I mean? A lot of people don't know anymore how Dior looked like, how Balenciaga looked like, how their facial features were. Everybody knows how Chanel looked like and still looks like because she's always present everywhere. And Lagerfeld is very clever to get the design team to depict her face on a lot of the accessories and also on pret-a-porter pieces from time to time. But they come in waves, you know, just to remind you, she's the one. It's all thanks to her. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know what you think about the future of Chanel and what you think about this video in the comment section down below. And if you haven't already but wish to, please do subscribe to my channel here on YouTube. I'm also on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Now, the day will come when Lagerfeld leaves Chanel. But we will never give up on love, and we will hope that a really good new person comes and takes over this scepter of heritage and love for her, Coco Chanel. Thank you so much for watching. See you soon. Take care. Bye.